Black made a move. Pawn takes f4. Pause the video and try to find white's next move. Pawn b6. Pawn f3. Pawn b7. Pawn f2. Black wants to play. Pawn promotes to queen at f1 and put immense pressure on the opponent. Pawn promotes to queen at b8. Move preferred by white. Pawn promotes to queen at f1. Queen takes d6 check. King f7. Queen d5 check. King e7. Queen e4 check. King d8. Queen takes h4 check. King e8. Black's loss is confirmed. Let's go to the next game. White just played. Rook a4. Pause the video to find out black's response. White wants to play. Pawn a6. Rook e1. King g2. Pawn e2. King f2. Rook b1. King takes e2 and establish a winning position. Pawn g5 was chosen by black. Black wants to play. Pawn g4 check. Rook takes g4 check. Pawn takes g4 check and gain a significant edge. Pawn g4 was chosen by white. Pawn f4. Rook a1. White wants to play. Pawn a6. Rook d2. Pawn a7. Rook d8. Pawn promotes to queen at a8. Rook takes a8. Rook takes a8 and secure a strong hold in the game. Pawn f3 played by black. Rook h1. Pawn f2. King g2. Rook e1. Black considers playing. Rook takes h1 and take decisive advantage. Rook f1 played by white. Pawn e2. Black is preparing to play. Pawn promotes to queen at ex. f1 check. King f3. Queen g1. Pawn a6. Pawn promotes to queen at f1 mate and gain a significant edge. Rook takes f2. Move preferred by white. Rook g1 check. King takes g1. Pawn promotes to queen at e1 check. King g2. Black is in a commanding position. Let's go to the next game. Black just played. King takes e5. Pause the video to figure out white's next move. Pawn h5. King f6. King h7. King g5. Black is setting up to play. King takes h5 and take decisive advantage. Pawn h6 was chosen by white. King f6. King g8. King e6. King g7. White wants to play. Pawn h7. Pawn f5. King g6. King e5. Pawn promotes to queen at h8 check and sees the initiative. Pawn f5 played by black. King g6. White's idea is to play. Pawn h7. Pawn f4. Pawn promotes to queen at h8 and gain a significant edge. King e5 was chosen by black. King g5. Pawn f4. Pawn h7. White considers playing. Pawn promotes to queen at h8 check and gain a significant edge. Pawn f3. Move preferred by black. Pawn promotes to queen at h8 check. King e4. White has a decisive advantage. Let's go to the next game. Black just played. Queen d3 check. Pause the video to analyze white's next move. Queen takes d3. Knight takes d3. Pawn takes f7 check. King e7. Bishop h4 check. King d7. Pawn e6 check. King c7. Pawn e7. White wants to play. Knight b5 check. King b7. Pawn promotes to queen at e8 and increase their advantage significantly. Bishop d7 was chosen by black. Bishop g3 check. King b7. Pawn promotes to queen at f8. White is planning to play queen f7. King a6. Queen takes d5 and sees the initiative. Rook takes f8 played by black. Pawn promotes to queen at ex f8. Rook takes f8. Rook takes f8. On g5 black is outplayed. Let's go to the next game. White just played bishop e6. Pause the video to spot black's next move. On c3. Black's idea is to play on c2. Knight d4. Pawn promotes to queen at c1 and sees the initiative. Knight takes c3 move preferred by white. King takes c3. Bishop g4. On d2. Black considers playing king c2. Bishop f3. Pawn promotes to queen at d1. Bishop takes d1 check. King takes d1 and establish a winning position. Bishop d1 played by white. King b2. King f3. King c1. Black's idea is to play king takes d1 and dominate the board. King e2 played by white. On g4. Bishop b3. On g3. Black is setting up to play on g2. King f2. Pawn promotes to rook at g1. King takes g1. Pawn promotes to queen at d1 check. Bishop takes d1. King takes d1 and dominate the board. King f3 was chosen by white. Pawn promotes to queen at d1 check. Bishop takes d1. King takes d1. King takes g3. King c2. King f2. King b3. King e1. King takes a4. King d2. Black is clearly ahead. Let's go to the next game. White just played rook b5. Pause the video to find out black's response. On a4. Black is preparing to play on b3 check. King d2. On a3. On f4. On a2. Rook a5. On b2. Rook takes a2. Bishop takes a2 and secure a stronghold in the game. Rook a5 move preferred by white. On a3. Black might go for on b3 check. King d2. On a2. On g4. On b2. Rook takes a2. Bishop takes a2 and increase their advantage significantly. King b1 move preferred by white. Bishop e7. Black is setting up to play on b3. On f4. On a2 check. King b2. King h6. On g4. Bishop f6 check. Rook e5. Bishop takes e5 check and secure a stronghold in the game. Rook a7 played by white. White is setting up to play rook takes e7 and dominate the board. Bishop d6 played by black. Black is aiming to play on b3. Rook takes a3. Bishop takes a3 and sees the initiative. Rook a6 was chosen by white. White's idea is to play rook takes d6 and take decisive advantage. Bishop takes h2 played by black. Bishop f1. Bishop e5. Black might go for on b3. Rook takes a3. Bishop f5 check. Bishop d3. Bishop takes d3 check and establish a winning position. Bishop d3 played by white. Bishop b3. Rook a5. White intends to play rook takes e5 and secure a stronghold in the game. Bishop c3 was chosen by black. On f4. On h5. Black might go for Bishop d2. Bishop b5. Bishop d5. Bishop d3. Bishop takes g2 and sees the initiative. On g3 played by white. Bishop e1. Black might go for Bishop takes g3 and establish a winning position. Bishop e2 was chosen by white. Bishop e6. Black is preparing to play Bishop takes g3 and sees the initiative. Rook a4 played by white. On a2 check. Rook takes a2. Bishop takes a2 check. King takes a2. White is struggling to keep up. Let's go to the next game. Black made a move. Rook g6. Pause the video to analyze white's next move. Rook d5 check. King e6. On f5 check. King takes d5. On takes g6. King e6. On g7. White wants to play pawn promotes to queen at g8 check and dominate the board. King f7 played by black. King e4. King takes g7. King d5. King f6. Black is planning to play King e7. On a3. King d7. On b3. On a5. On b4. On takes b4. On takes b4. On takes b4 and sees the initiative. King takes d6 was chosen by white. On c4. On a4. White wants to play King c7. King e5. King b7. King d4. King takes a7 and gain a significant edge. King f5 played by black. King d5. King f6. King takes c4. King e7. King b5. King d6. King a6. King c5. On b3. King b4. King takes a7. King takes b3. White is in a commanding position. Let's go to the next game. Black just played Bishop takes c1. Pause the video to analyze white's next move. King b6. White is preparing to play King c7. Bishop takes b2. On d7 check. King f7. On promotes to queen at d8 and dominate the board. King d7 played by black. Black is setting up to play King takes d6 and take decisive advantage. King takes c5 move preferred by white. King e6. King c6. Bishop takes b2. On d7. White considers playing pawn promotes to queen at d8 and gain a significant edge. Bishop f6 move preferred by black. King c7. Bishop e5 check. King c8. White is aiming to play pawn promotes to queen at d8 and put immense pressure on the opponent. Bishop f6 move preferred by black. Pawn promotes to queen at d8. White intends to play queen d7 check. King e5. Queen d5 mate and gain a significant edge. Bishop takes d8 was chosen by black. King takes d8. King d6. King e8. White might go for King f7. King e5. King g6. King d4. King takes g5 and increase their advantage significantly. King e6 move preferred by black. King f8. White is preparing to play King g7. King e5. On c5. King d5. King g6. King takes c5. King takes g5. King d5. King takes f4 and establish a winning position. King e5 move preferred by black. King g7. White considers playing. On c5. King d5. King g6. King d4. King takes g5 and take decisive advantage. King d4 move preferred by black. King f6. White intends to play king takes g5 and establish a winning position. King c3 played by black. On c5. King takes b3. On c6. King a2. On c7. On b3. On promotes to queen at c8. White is looking to play king takes g5 and secure a stronghold in the game. On b2 white is in a commanding position. Let's go to the next game. Black just played. On e3 pause the video and try to find white's next move. Black might go for. On e2. King c5. On promotes to queen at e1 and increase their advantage significantly. King d3 played by white. King g7. King takes e3. King f6. King f4. On h6. On e7. White wants to play pawn promotes to queen at e8 and establish a winning position. King takes e7 move preferred by black. King e5. White is looking to play. On a3. On a5. On a4. On g5. King f5. King d6. King g6. King c5. King takes h6 and take decisive advantage. On a6 played by black. On c4. White wants to play. On a4. On g5. King f5. On a5. King g6. King e6. On c5. On g4. King takes h6 and increase their advantage significantly. On g5 was chosen by black. King f5. White is planning to play. King g6. King d6. King takes h6 and dominate the board. King f7 was chosen by black. On a4. King g7. On c5. King f7. On c6. White is planning to play. On c7. King e7. On promotes to queen at c8 and establish a winning position. King e7 move preferred by black. King g6. King d6. King takes h6. On g4. King g5. King takes c6. King takes g4. King c5. On h4. King b4. King f3. On the 5. King e2. King takes a4. King d2. King b3. On h5. White is looking to play. King c1. On a4. King b1. On a3. On h6. King c3. On h7. King d4. On promotes to queen at h8 check and seize the initiative. King c4 played by black. On h6. White's idea is to play. King c2. On a4. On h7. King d5. On promotes to queen at h8 and establish a winning position. On a4 was chosen by black. On h7. White's idea is to play pawn promotes to queen at h8 and put immense pressure on the opponent. On a3 was chosen by black. On promotes to queen at h8. King d5 black is outplayed. Let's go to the next game. Black played. King e3 pause the video and try to find white's next move. Black wants to play king takes e4 and take decisive advantage. King takes f6 move preferred by white. Bishop c5. Black is looking to play king takes e4 and secure a stronghold in the game. King takes e5 was chosen by white. On h5. King d5. White's idea is to play king takes c5 and take decisive advantage. Pawn takes g4 move preferred by black. King takes c5. On g3. On a7. On g2. Pawn promotes to queen at a8. Pawn promotes to queen at g1. On f6. White considers playing. On f7. King f3 check. King d5. Queen d1 check. King e5. Queen b1. Pawn promotes to queen at f8 check and gain a significant edge. Queen f1 was chosen by black. On e5. On g4. Queen d5. Queen f4. On f7. On g3. On e6. Queen c7 check. King b4. Queen f4 check. King a3. White considers playing. On e7. Queen takes f7. Queen takes f7 and secure a stronghold in the game. King e2 move preferred by black. Queen b5 check. King d1. Queen a4 check. Queen takes a4 check. King takes a4. On g2. Pawn promotes to queen at f8. White is looking to play. Queen f2. Pawn promotes to bishop at g1. Queen takes g1 check and secure a stronghold in the game. Pawn promotes to queen at g1 move preferred by black. Queen d6 check. King e2. Queen e5 check. King f3. Queen f5 check. King e2. Queen e4 check. King f1. Queen b1 check. King g2. Queen takes g1 check. King takes g1. Black is struggling to keep up. Let's go to the next game.